have a good conversation when we do. So how have things been?
I would say pretty good. It had been hectic from some 3 weeks or so I say 3 months before the elections, before the convention started, and it what should I say, climax on the Sunday.
Right.
You know, it's very strange because when I walked, first of all, that's the first convention I ever went to in my life. I've never been to a convention.
Interesting.
Yeah, I never went to a convention. And everybody I spoke to, first of all, when I drove in, the police said to me, well, your name is not on the list. And I said, well, okay, what should I do? Should I park outside and come in? He said, well, you Alan's father? I said, yeah. I said, okay, I'll let you in. And I wish you the best of luck for your son, okay? I thought it was very nice of him. So I went in and I parked my car and walked in. And nearly everybody I encountered said, we're home already. I said, hey, take it easy. Remember the words of Mrs. Thatcher when they asked her once, about a week or so before the elections, do you look forward to going to 10 Downing Street? He said, I never count my chickens before they're thatched. So, you know, I said, good people, let me tell you something. Politics is a very funny game. You may want something, you get something else, but I thank you, you know. And then I went into the hall and I stood at the back. The place was jam-packed. And I think the former leader, Mr. Stevenson King, was speaking at the time, and he spoke and he spoke, and it seemed a sort of bit lackluster. And then he finished. No, he wasn't quite finished. And then the people were just listening, and then Alan walked in, and the ovation, the standing ovation, I just couldn't believe it, you know. It reminded me so much of the elections between Sir John and Vaughan, when he walked in, you know. And anyway, that having been said, they did their thing, and they went to voting, and the rest is history. Yeah. But it was, I asked many people there, you know, Ira Dover, who's an old politician, he was sitting there, and I said, Ira, you know, you've been in politics for so long, you know, is that how conventions take place? I said, Michael, to be honest with you, this is the most intense convention I've ever seen in my 40 years in politics.
Wow.
I said, I've never seen anything like that. And I subsequently asked people about it. I said, you know, conventions, 40, 50 people will come, you know. But I suppose what was different this time, that most conventions, it was a fait accompli, you know. People would walk in, and look at how many times Kenny has gone in. There's no opposition, you know, and that's how it goes. There was John Compton for years, same situation. So I suppose this is what we've been faced with. But we're in a new era now, Clinton, yeah, and that's what I see.
So you see this pretty much as the changing of the guard. There is no, as you said, no fait accompli anymore. There is a need for competition. There is need for people to avail themselves of an opportunity to lead and present themselves to the public or the voters, the electorate, and have them decide.
Yeah, and you know what's nice about the whole thing? Because you probably have heard it. They always say, well, so-and-so was parachuted into power. And I can say that in the case of what happened, every member who got in worked damn hard for it. I happen to be, I'm privy to the last couple of meetings that the boys had, you know. On 3 occasions, you know, they asked me if I would come to their meetings. I desisted for quite a while, but I did attend 3 meetings. I went to one at La Guerre, I went to one in Vieux-Fort, and I went to one in Auger, you know. But the last one I did in Vieux-Fort, it was unbelievable. It was held at the Coconut Bay Hotel, and it was over 150 people there. And what I saw that night, the people were really riled up, you know. And people, from what, this convention is more than a convention. It's a change. You know, the recession has affected all of us. It has brought our spirits down to 0. And people looking for hope, you know. And it so happens that the United Workers' Party lost the last elections, which in my view they should not have lost. But, you know, it's good sometimes that these things happen. It makes you a different person. The effort that this team of 9, especially Ezekiel Joseph, Guy, Leon, Theodore, these people are just unbelievable. They were relentless in their work. Their work cut out for them. They were dedicated. I mean, night after night, day after day, calls, following up and everything else. And, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. When you're doing something like, you either do it properly or you don't do it at all. But what I saw was most inspiring.
Now, I know just after the election you expressed the sentiment that, you know, Alan should now go back to his family and, you know, settle in and take care of his family, focus on that. Now, with 2 years, a year and a half hence, it's a different ball game. Now that he's not anymore going 1 foot in. He's jumping
With
both feet and the entire body into
yeah.
it. You know, he has now assumed the leadership. What caused your change of mind?
You see, his change of mind. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Alan,
So his change of mind caused your change of mind.
oh, sorry, you're asking what caused my change of mind as towards Alan.
Right.
Well, first of all, let's deal with Alan. Alan, you know, I've told people more than once, he's 51 years of age, okay? He's not a child, he's a big man, okay? After the elections, I felt, okay, you know something, you tried, you lost, that's fine. All's fair in love and war. And my advice to him was, look, you have a lot of work to do, your own business, cool off, take a deep breath, tend to your family, okay? And he actually was on that path. But what happened, I think many of the guys in the party, their constituencies were calling them and said, things are so bad in St. Lucia. We have, although there's an opposition, they felt there was still no opposition. And they got together and they set a course and they asked him to be political leader. And when he discussed with me, I said, you think the timing is right? He said, well, Dad, you know, the people, they're very serious. I said, look at me. Well, you think about it, it's you, but I still have my reservation of politics, okay? Anyway, to make a long story short, he went in, and the rest is history. Alan's my son, okay? Some people actually said to me, they thought I let him down in the last elections by not supporting him. Supporting him, not necessarily financially, but morally, you know? And to be honest, I know myself, Clinton. I'm not a politician, but I know I get a lot of respect from people in St. Lucia, and my words do carry some weight. Not a lot, but they carry enough for a sway.
Some might beg to disagree.
I know, yeah, I know that, but I know myself. And, you know, about a week before the elections in Soufrière, he asked me to come and speak at Font-Saint-Jacques, you know, and I said, let me think. And I said, Alan, you know, as a business person, I really don't want to get involved, okay? And I'll tell you quite frankly, Clinton, had I gone to Font-Saint-Jacques, Alan would have won that seat. Because Sir Vincent Flosac, who was a personal friend of mine, always told me, he who loses Font-Saint-Jacques loses the elections. You know, I know what I have to say to people, genuinely. I'm not coming here to BS anybody, okay? And still today, I see what has to be done in Soufrière. There were a couple points I could have used that would have been very effective because he had really cleaned out the Soufrière town. And I think for a first timer, he did very well in Soufrière, very, very well. Because apart from the opposition, which put a lot of pressure on him because all the big guns were down there, but more than that, there were people within his own party, who were undermining him.
Which people?
In the United Workers' Party.
I mean...
Names people?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because we come with a clean slate now.
Yeah, but you know, it's not good sometimes to air your linen in public, okay? But I'll give you one example, for instance. The guy who was there before, Charlemagne, he was a decent guy. He was a UWP. He had some dispute with the former Prime Minister, Mr. King, and they moved him out and brought in, I think, this Indian lady, minister, forgot her name, replaced him.
Okay.
And he wasn't happy about it, you know. And he actually had his own grouse with the party, nothing to do with Alan. And he must have felt, well, why am I support? That's only just one, okay? There are two other individuals that, you know, did their work, and they had their reasons. But you see, all that's good, because what doesn't kill makes you stronger, okay? And what has happened to Alan then has made him a stronger person today, because he's becoming a politician now.
But now that he's the leader, you're trying to stay out of the politics, but now that he's the leader, how do you see your role changing?
Well, actually, I still want to distance myself from politics, but what I will say to you, whatever ways I can help the party, not particularly Alan, because Clinton, we are not in good shape in St. Lucia. Trust what I tell you, you know. I mean, I'm not here to blame anybody. There is a world recession, but when there are world recessions, there are different ways of addressing the issues. And in my humble opinion, they aren't being addressed the way they should be addressed. And, you know, if a business is failing, you don't let it fail. You do something about it. You make a change. But there's no change going on, you know. There are a number of things I have recommended here in St. Lucia. I've heard it from, in fact, a guy told me yesterday, you know, well, you know, you said to do this, but then who are you to go and tell the government what to do? I'm not, the Prime Minister of this country is the most powerful man. The buck stops with him. If he doesn't want to work together with the business community and take the lead, it's his call, and he'll take the fall. Because at the end of the day, if you have 160,000 people and businesses are failing, there's no doubt about it that businesses are failing. They're failing disastrously all over the place, okay? I mean, I'm simply tired of my office, of people coming in. And it's only so much I can do. There are only so many people I can employ. We already, between our three businesses, employ 1,800 people, you know? And each person feeds 4. So where are you going? You know what I mean? I'm only one man, you know? Unlike a government service where you, when a business is failing, what do? They tax you. When you're in business, your business is failing, you have to cut back because you have to pay the government all the tax on time. You have to pay the VAT and everything. And what people don't understand, I keep saying it all the time, every business you open in St. Lucia, government is a 1/3 shareholder because it's 33% income tax. And that's clean money. When you lose money, they're not sharing, eh? I would love to have a business like that. Yeah. But, so from that, to answer your question, what I would like to do is that with Alan as leader of the opposition and also the rapport I have with his team, I make suggestions. But I've always said one thing, you know, about politicians. When they're out of power, their hearing is excellent. But when they get in, they need a hearing aid right away.
Well, I mean, you're in a unique position because they're not only going to hear you from the standpoint of a businessman and the biggest businessman on the island, but from the standpoint that you are the father of the leader of the party.
Yeah. But, you know, I'll tell you something, Clinton. Alan has his strong points and he has his weak points. We all do. Alan is a very determined individual, okay? You're not going to sway him, okay? That easily. At least me, because he's going to be very, very cautious because he made some comments when he was during the convention, which I was surprised. When somebody said to him, well, you know, you're a hotelier, your father's in the business and you probably will, you know, look after his interests. And he made a very valid point. Take Goddard's. When Goddard's came to St. Lucia, okay, you know, I can understand any government saying CFL has the monopoly, let's bring in a big boy and give them a shake-up, okay? And can you imagine the United Workers' Party gave Goddard's duty-free concessions on all their equipment for the supermarket, a value of $2.5 million. Okay, when it was discussed, he walked out of cabinet. He never even told me so. Honestly, he never told. I heard it at the convention. He said, look, here's what happened. And the CEO of our company wrote the United Workers' Party and complained. He says, look, we are St. Lucians. We have never got 1 single cent in concessions, not a cent. And we're not trying to disrupt any unity in CARICOM, but you have a Bajan company coming to St. Lucia. Barbados would not even allow us to put a supermarket in Barbados, okay? And you come in and you give them these concessions. Goddard's are probably worth maybe 8 times the value of CFL. They've been in business 160 years. They bought Peter and Company, they bought Sunbuilt, they bought M&C's, and they bought Bryden's. The 4 biggest companies in St. Lucia. What did we do? We competed. The success of CFL is not money. It's discipline and hard work. We have a team together, just as you see that team of 9 did in the last convention. That is what. And for me, Clinton, I do nothing in life without discussing with people. So we have a team. No, Michael Chastanet doesn't make decisions. It's made by a board of directors. As I told somebody, I'm chairman of CFL, and my 9 directors are my ministers of government. And in the 20 years we've been around, other than other people who have retired, nobody has ever been fired, and people go on, and the CEO of the company has a plan. He says, look, you are the marketing person, you make the decisions. Only if something goes wrong, you are being empowered. It's just like on tonight on the news, somebody said, talk about the yellow T-shirts that are being worn at CFL. Are you aware of that?
No, I hear that.
You know something? My maid came in one day and said to me, she was on a bus coming home, and the driver said, okay, Mr. Safesa. So, and referring to the T-shirts, 10 of them had in the bus when they dropped them off. Okay? When I went over, I saw these people in all these yellow T-shirts. One thing I would say, they're identifiable. I called my CEO and I said, you know, you're getting some flack about those T-shirts. He said, what T-shirts? I said, the yellow T-shirts. He said, I don't even know about that. He says, my marketing department handle. I don't get involved in those things. And people have to understand that, Clinton, when you have 1,400 workers and you have so many, each supermarket has 14,000 items. The CEO cannot get involved in those petty circumstances, you know. You
got to look at the big picture.
You have to look at the big picture, you know. Yeah. At the end of the day, sometimes some people will tell you, okay, oh, they're robbing you here, robbing you there. And he always says, look at the bottom line. Are you making $1? Then as you go along, you try to focus on the areas, because the man has his accounts, he gets daily. And when you can read a balance sheet, that's your Bible. You don't need anybody to tell you, where you're losing money. When you have a business well organized, and CFL is a very well organized company.
Let's take a break right now. We're speaking here with Mr. Michael Chastanet. He is the chairman of CFL. He is also one of the, well, I don't want to say one of the biggest. He is the biggest businessman on St. Lucia. We'll take a break right now. When we come back, we'll talk about competition. And that issue has been raised already, with economic power coupling with political power. Is that a recipe for disaster? Stay with us. We'll discuss that with him when we come back.